become engaged, I or your father, should his health permit him, will inform you of the fact. The engagement should come when a young girl is a surprise, pleasant or unpleasant, as the case may be. It is hardly a matter that she should be allowed to arrange for herself. And now I have a few questions to put to you, Mr. Perkin. While I'm making these inquiries, Gwendolyn, you will wait below for me in the carriage.
Mama?
In the carriage, Gwendolyn! Gwendolyn, in the carriage! You can take a seat, Mr. Worthing. Thank you, Lady Bracknell. I prefer standing. I must admit that you are not down on my list of eligible young men, though I have the same list as the Duchess of Bolton has. We work together, in fact. I am, however, ready to enter your name should your answers be what a truly affectionate mother requires. Do you smoke?
Well, yes, I must admit that I smoke.
I'm glad to hear it. A man should always have an occupation of some kind. There are far too many idle men in London as it is. How old are you?
29.
A good age to be married at. I'm of opinion that a man who wishes to be married should know either everything or nothing. Which do you know?
I know nothing, Lady Bracknell.
I'm pleased to hear it. I do not approve of anything that tampers with natural ignorance. Ignorance is like a delicate fruit. Touch it and the bloom is gone. The whole theory of modern education is radically unsound. Fortunately, in England at any rate, it produces no effect whatsoever. If it did, it would prove to be a serious danger to the upper classes and probably lead to acts of violence in Grosvenor Square. What is your income?
Between 7,000 and 8,000 a year.
In land or investments?
In investments, chiefly.
That sounds not unsatisfactory. What must be the duties expected of one during one's lifetime and exacted from one after one's death? Land ceases to be either a profit or a pleasure. It gives one position and prevents one from keeping it up. That's all that can be said about land.
Well, I own a house in the country with some manufacturing, of course, about 1,500 acres, but as far as I can make out, the poachers are really the only ones that make anything by it.
A country house? How many bedrooms? Well, that point can be cleared up afterwards. You would have a townhouse, I hope. A girl with a simple, unspoiled nature like my daughter Gwendolyn could hardly be expected to reside in the country.
Well, I own a house in Belgrave Square, which is let by the year to Lady Bloxham. Of course, I can have it back whenever I like. 6 months' notice.
Lady Bloxham? I don't know her.
She goes about very little. She's a woman considerably advanced in years.
Ah, nowadays that is no guarantee of respectability of character. What number in Belgrave Square?
149.
The unfashionable side. I thought there was something. However, that could all easily be altered.
Do you mean the fashion or the style?
Both, if necessary, I presume. What are your politics?
I'm afraid I really have none. I'm a liberal unionist.
Oh, they count as Tories. They dine with us, so come in the evening at any rate. Now, to my matters. Are your parents living?
I have lost both my parents.
To lose one parent, Mr. Worthing, may be regarded as a misfortune. To lose both looks like carelessness. Who was your aristocracy.
I'm afraid, Lady Bracknell, that I really don't know. I told you I had lost both my parents, but it would be nearer to the truth to say that both my parents seem to have lost me. I don't exactly know who I am by birth. In fact, I was found.
Found?
Yes, Lady Bracknell, I was found. Old Mr. Thomas Cardew, a gentleman of a very kind, compassionate nature, found me and gave me the name of Worthing, because he happened to have a first-class ticket to Worthing in his pocket at the time. Worthing is a place in Sussex. It is a seaside resort.
Where did this charitable young gentleman with a first-class ticket to a seaside resort find you?
In a handbag.
A handbag?
Yes, Lady Bracknell, I was in a handbag. Somewhat large, black leather handbag, with handles to it. An ordinary handbag, in fact.
In what locality did this Mr. James or Thomas Cardew find this ordinary handbag?
In the cloakroom at Victoria Station. It was given to him at the stake of his own.
The cloakroom at Victoria Station?
Yes, the bright line.
The line is immaterial, Mr. Worthing. I must admit I feel somewhat bewildered by what you have just told me. To be born, or at any rate, bred in a handbag, whether it happens or not, seems to me to display contempt for the ordinary decencies of family life that reminds one of the worst excesses of the French Revolution. And I presume you know what that unfortunate movement led to. As for the particular locality in which the handbag was found, a cloakroom at a railway station might serve to conceal a social indiscretion. Has probably indeed been used for that purpose before now, but could hardly be regarded as an assured basis for recognized position in good society.
Might I ask you then what you would advise me to do? Need I say I would do anything in the world to ensure Gwendolyn's happiness?
I would strongly advise you, Mr. Worthing, to try and acquire some relations as soon as possible, and to make a definite effort, at any rate, to produce one parent of either sex before the season is quite over.
I don't see how I can possibly manage to do that. I can produce the handbag. It's in my dressing room at home. I really think that should satisfy you, Lady Bracknell.
Me, sir? What has it to do with me? You could hardly be expected to believe that I and Lord Rugby would dream of allowing our only daughter, a girl brought up with the utmost care, to be married into a cloakroom and form an alliance with a parcel! Good morning, Mr. Worthing. Good morning.
For heaven's sake, don't play that ghastly tune, Algie. How chaotic you are.
Well, did it go off all right, Uncle? Oh, you don't mean to say Gwendolyn refused you? Oh, I know that's the way she has. She is always refusing people. I think it is most ill-natured of her.
Gwendolyn is as right as a trivet. As far as she is concerned, we are engaged. Her mother, however, is a monster. Perfectly unbearable, an absolute gorgon. I've never seen a gorgon. I'm not really sure what a gorgon is like, but I'm quite sure that she is one. In any case, she is a monster, without being a myth, which is really rather unfair. I'm sorry, Algie. Didn't look Dr. Earnest that way before you. My dear boy, I love hearing my relations abused.
It's the only thing that makes you put up with it at all. Relations are simply a tedious kind of people who haven't the remotest knowledge of how to live. Not the smallest instinct about when to die.
That's nonsense.
It isn't.
Well, I won't argue with you about the matter. You always want to argue about things.
Hell, that is precisely what things were originally made for.
Upon my word, if I felt that, I'd shoot myself.
I don't think there's any chance of Gwendolyn becoming anything like her mother in about 150 years, do you, Algie?
Well, all women become like their mothers. That is their tragedy. No man does. I suppose that's his. raised. And quite as true as any observation about civilized life should be.
Well, I am sick to death of cleverness. These days, you can hardly go anywhere without meeting clever people. The thing has become an absolute public nuisance. Why, I wish to goodness we had a few fools left.
We have.
Oh. I should be extremely glad to meet one of them. What do they talk about? The fools?
Ah, about the clever people, of course.
What fools?
By the way, have you told Gwendolyn yet the truth about your being Earnest in town and Jack in the country?
My dear boy, the truth isn't the sort of thing one tells to a nice, sweet, refined girl. What extraordinary ideas you have about the way to behave to a woman.
The only way to behave to a woman is to make love to her, if she is pretty. Like to someone else if she is plain.
That's nonsense.
And what of your brother? What of the profligate Earnest?
Before the end of the week is out, I shall accompany him. I'll say he died in Paris. Apoplexy or something like that. Lots of people die of apoplexy quite suddenly, do they not?
Yes, but that's hereditary, my dear fellow. It's the sort of thing that runs in families. And you're saying, oh, a severe chill.
You sure that a severe chill is not hereditary?
Of course it isn't.
Very well. My brother Ernest, carried off in Paris by a severe chill. And gets rid of it.
Yes, but I thought you said that your ward Cecily was a little bit too much interested in your poor brother Ernest. And won't you feel his loss a great deal?
Oh, that's all right. Cecily's not some silly romantic girl, I'm glad to say. She has a capital appetite, goes long walks, and pays no attention whatsoever to her studies.
I think I'd rather much like to see Cecily.
I will take very good care that you never do. She's excessively pretty, and she's only just 18.
Oh, and have you told Gwendolyn yet that you have an excessively pretty boy who's only just 18?
Why does it blurt these things out to people? Cecily and Gwendolyn are sure to become great friends. I'll bet you anything you like. Half an hour after they've met, they'll be calling each other sister.
Women only call each other that and they call each other a lot of other things first. Now, my dear boy, if we want to get a good game about little sister, we really must get her dressed. Did you know it is nearly 7?
No, it's always nearly 7. I'm hungry. I never knew you when you weren't.
What do we do after dinner? Go to a theater?
No, I love listening.
Well, have we go round to the club?
Oh, I can't stand talking.
Well, like trot around the Empire Attendant?
No, I simply don't want to look at things. It's all so silly.
What shall we do?
Nothing.
Well, resolve your hard work doing nothing. All right, don't mind hard work. There's an indefinite object of any kind.
Miss Fairfax!
Oh, Gwendolyn, oh my word!
Algy plans to bring me back with something very particular to say this morning.
Really, Gwendolyn, I don't think it's about this at all.
Algy, you always adopt a strictly immoral attitude toward life. You're not quite old enough to do that.
You're my own darling.
Ernest, we may never be married. From the expression on Mamma's face, I fear we never shall. Few parents nowadays give any regard to what their children have to say to them. The old-fashioned respect for the young is fast dying out. Whatever influence I had over Mamma, it lost at the age of 3. But, although she may prevent us from becoming man and wife, and I may marry someone else and marry often, nothing that she can possibly do can alter my eternal devotion to you.
Oh, dear Gwendolyn.
Story of your romantic origin, as related to me by Mamma with unpleasing comments, has naturally stirred the deeper fibers of my nature. Your Christian name has an irresistible fascination. The simplicity of your character makes you exquisitely incomprehensible to me. Your town address is the only thing I have, but what is your address in the country?
The Manor House, Woolton, Hertfordshire.
It has good postal service, I suppose. It may be necessary to do something desperate. That, of course, will require serious consideration. I will communicate with you daily.
Oh, darling.
How long do you remain in town?
Till Monday.
Good. Algy, may turn around now.
Thanks, I turned around already.
May I also ring the bell?
You will let me see to your carriage, my own darling.
Certainly.
I will see Miss Fairfax now. Yes, sir.
Bunbury Lane.
Yes, sir.
Tomorrow Lane, I'm going Bunbury.
Yes, sir.
I should probably not be back till Monday. You can put out my dress clothes, my smoking jacket, and all my Bunbury suits.
Yes, sir.
Oh, I hope tomorrow will be a fine day, Lane.
It never is, sir.
Lane, you are a perfect pessimist.
I do my best to give satisfaction, sir. There's a sensible, intellectual girl. The only girl that I've ever cared about in my life. What on earth are you so amused at?
I'm a little anxious about poor Bunbury, that's all.
You don't take care of your friend Bunbury, so it gets you in some very serious scrapes.
Oh, I love scrapes. They're the only things that are never serious.
It's nonsense, Alice. You're never talking anything but nonsense.
Nobody ever does. Besides, I love nonsense.